Forget everything you know about meditation and positive thinking. There is a physical point on your body between your eyebrows that works as a direct access terminal to one of the brain's most mysterious glands. The ancient Egyptians, obsessed with the afterlife and consciousness, believed this was the portal of the soul. Today, neuroscience is discovering that stimulating this area can in fact alter your brainwaves and your state of awareness almost instantly. What happens if you apply specific pressure to this point for 60 seconds? The answer isn't mystical enlightenment, but a real biochemical shift. You'll feel it. And I'll show you exactly how to do it, step by step, using a technique derived from the teachings of Thoth, the Scribe of the gods. What you're about to experience in the next few minutes is proof that you have more control over your biology and your reality than you've ever been told. If you believe there's a hidden power within you, comment, "The key is in the mind," and let's begin. Don't waste a single moment in regret, because thinking with feeling about the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. Instead, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Before flipping this switch, you need a destination. Think of it like setting up a GPS before starting a trip. If you don't know where you're going, any road will do. And you'll probably end up lost. The energy we're about to release is powerful and neutral. It needs a command, a clear target to move toward. Without a defined blueprint, this life force can disperse without creating anything concrete, like water spilled on sand. So, our first practical step is to build the blueprint of your new reality, not with bricks and cement, but with the most powerful raw material in the universe, your focused imagination. Close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to dream, but with purpose. What do you really want? Forget vague and generic wishes like being happy or having more money. Those are too abstract for the subconscious to understand and for universal energy to materialize. We need specificity. I want you to build a scene in your mind with such intense clarity that you can feel, hear, and smell every detail. If your desire is a new relationship, don't just think about the idea of having someone. Feel that person's hand holding yours, hear the sound of their laughter. Let's go deeper into that image. If you want financial prosperity, don't just picture a pile of money. Imagine yourself opening your banking app and seeing the exact balance you desire. Feel the emotion that runs through your body, the relief, the joy, the freedom. Hear the sound of the notification from a big sale you just made. If your dream is a new home, mentally walk through it. Feel the cool floor beneath your feet. Run your hand along the texture of the wall. Smell the fresh paint or the coffee brewing in your new kitchen. Look out the window and see the view you've always dreamed of. This detailed visualization practice isn't just childish fantasy, it's a neurological process. When you imagine something with this kind of sensory richness, your brain doesn't fully distinguish the experience from a real one. It starts to create the same neural pathways it would if the event were actually happening. You are, in practice, rehearsing your future reality, getting your brain and nervous system familiar with the feeling of already having achieved your goal. This familiarity is key to removing inner resistance and doubt. Burn this scene into your mind. Repeat it several times until it becomes vivid and familiar, like a cherished memory. This mental image, charged with all your senses, is no longer just a thought. It has become an energetic mold, a vibrational blueprint that now exists in the field of possibilities. It is the fuel that will power the engine we're about to start. The seed we'll plant in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Keep this image alive and pulsing in your mind, because it's the target toward which we'll direct the life force. Now that the map is drawn and the destination is clear in your mind, the next step is to find the exact point on your body that works as the ignition button for this journey. This point wasn't chosen randomly. It's an ancestrally known portal, a direct connection to the command center of your energy system. Locating and activating it properly is what will turn your mental blueprint into an active creation process. The ignition point. With the map of your desire firmly established in your mind, let's now locate the ignition point. Use your index or middle finger and find the exact spot between your eyebrows, just slightly above the brow line. You'll feel a small indentation or a more sensitive area in that region. This is the point known in acupressure and traditional Chinese medicine as Yintang, which translates as the Hall of Impression. The name itself is already a powerful clue about its function. This is where we imprint our deepest intentions onto the screen of consciousness. For thousands of years, practitioners of Eastern medicine discovered that applying pressure to this point has an almost immediate calming effect on the mind and nervous system. It's a natural remedy for anxiety, insomnia, and tension headaches. But what they may have known by intuition and what esoteric wisdom has always taught is that the function of the Yintang goes far beyond stress relief. It acts as a gateway, a direct connection to one of the most mysterious and revered structures in the human body, the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a small endocrine gland about the size of a grain of rice, located at the geometric center of the brain. Philosophers like Descartes described it as the principal seat of the soul. In various spiritual traditions, it is known as the third eye, the eye of intuition, the portal to higher dimensions of consciousness. Think of it as the radio antenna of your body, designed to pick up the subtle frequencies of the universe. However, for most people, this antenna is covered in static. That static is the result of our modern lifestyle and our inner battles. Chronic stress, poor diet, exposure to environmental toxins, and especially the constant stream of negative thoughts, fears, and doubts contribute to a process called calcification of the pineal gland. This diminishes its ability to function optimally, leaving our antenna with a weak and distorted signal. Our connection to intuition becomes impaired, and our ability to perceive realities beyond the physical world goes dormant. By applying light pressure to the Yintang point, you are sending a subtle vibration, an energetic signal that travels directly to the pineal gland. It's like gently tapping a microphone to clear it before speaking. You're beginning a process of clearing that static, of energetic decalcification. This simple touch is the first step in awakening that dormant force, reactivating your biological antenna and preparing it to receive and transmit a clear, strong, and coherent signal aligned with your intention. You are preparing the ground for deep transformation. This is not a symbolic act, it is a bioenergetic action. You are interacting with your own physiology in a way most people are unaware of. This initial touch is the warm-up, the preparation of your system for what's coming. Now that we've located the point and understood its importance, the next step is to learn the exact method to amplify this signal, to transform a simple touch into a wave of creative energy that you'll feel almost instantly. Now that you have the image of your desire crystal clear in your mind and have located the ignition point, let's bring the two together in an act of conscious creation. Keep the scene of your desire alive on your mental screen. With your index or middle finger, begin lightly and rhythmically tapping the Yintang point. You don't need to use force. Gentleness is key. Imagine you're touching the surface of a lake to create small ripples. Do this at a steady, comfortable rhythm, about 1 or 2 taps per second for approximately 15 to 20 seconds. As you do this, focus on your breathing. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs, and exhale gently through your mouth. With each exhale, consciously release any tension you might be holding. Relax your jaw, drop your shoulders, soften the small muscles around your eyes and forehead. This state of relaxation is essential because it communicates to your nervous system that you are safe, shifting you out of fight or flight mode and into rest and create mode. During these seconds of rhythmic tapping, it's very likely that you'll start to notice internal phenomena. Don't be surprised if you begin to see colors, geometric patterns, or flashes of light, white, blue, or violet, dancing behind your closed eyelids. This isn't your imagination playing tricks on you. It's a real and tangible sign that energy is building up. You're stimulating the optic nerve and the pineal gland, activating the energy center of your third eye. This light is the visual manifestation of life force, or prana, accumulating. After the 15 or 20 seconds of tapping, stop. Now, instead of tapping, simply press the Yintang point gently, keeping your finger in place with firm but gentle pressure. Close your eyes if you haven't already and bring your attention to the sensation under your finger. You may feel a subtle pulse, a warmth, or a tingling. This is the crucial moment. Right now, you are doing something extraordinary. You are consciously directing all the energy you've just built up into the mental image you created. Imagine this light, this pulsating energy you feel, flowing from the tip of your finger through the Yintang point and directly into the scene of your desire in your mind. See this energy infusing your image, making it brighter, more vivid, more real. You are acting as an alchemist, taking the neutral universal energy and giving it a specific shape and purpose. Your mental image is no longer just a fleeting thought. It now has an electric charge, a unique, energetic signature in the universe. Your vision is now alive, charged with the pure potential of creation. It has been imprinted into the hall of impression and energized with your life force. It is a vibrational mold that begins to attract the circumstances, people, and opportunities needed for its manifestation in the physical world. However, in order for this energy to solidify and not dissipate, it needs a final command, a clear instruction that seals the process and anchors it firmly in your reality. The password that unlocks the subconscious. With the gentle pressure still on your forehead and the image of your desire glowing brightly in your mind, infused with the energy you've gathered, we now arrive at the step that transforms intention into conviction. Now, you're going to use the power of your own voice or your focused thought to give a command to your subconscious and to the universe. This won't be a request or a plea because asking implies lack. Instead, it will be a declaration of a done deal, a celebration of a reality that, on an energetic level, already exists. Begin to repeat, either silently in your mind or in a soft whisper, a specific and incredibly powerful phrase. The great manifestation teacher of the 20th century, Neville Goddard, taught that one of the most effective tools for imprinting a belief into the subconscious is to ask a question that already implies the desire has been fulfilled. The phrase he most often recommended, and the one we'll use here, is, "Isn't it wonderful?" Repeat this phrase over and over like a gentle mantra. Feel the meaning behind the words. When you say, "Isn't it wonderful?" you're not questioning whether something will happen. You're placing yourself in the state of someone who has already received what they wanted and is in awe of it. It's the emotion you would feel opening the door to your new home for the first time, or hearing life-changing news. Each repetition is like entering a password that bypasses the skeptical guard of your conscious mind, the one that always says this is impossible or you don't deserve it. This technique of auto-suggestion is the bridge between the conscious and subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't argue. It accepts as truth whatever is imprinted upon it with feeling and repetition. By combining the vivid image, visualization, the gathered energy, the touch and pressure, and the emotion of fulfillment, the phrase, "Isn't it wonderful?" You're creating a powerful, lasting impression. You're shifting your inner vibration from "I hope" to "I know." Continue repeating the phrase while holding the image and maintaining the pressure. Feel gratitude and joy bubbling up inside you, as if your desire were already a concrete memory. It's the fundamental difference between standing outside a party, waiting to get in, and already being inside, dancing and celebrating with your friends. Your conscious mind, your subconscious, and your energy are now perfectly aligned, vibrating in unison with the frequency of your new reality. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic field around you. You become a magnet for your manifestation. But maybe you still have a doubt. Is this energy real? There's a simple physical way to prove to yourself that this force field is not just imagination, but something you can literally feel in your own hands, here and now. Now that your mind and energy are aligned and vibrating with the certainty of your creation, let's do something that will anchor this experience into your physical body. Slowly move your finger away from your forehead. Keep your eyes closed for a moment longer. Now, bring your palms to face each other at the level of your chest or abdomen. Slowly bring them closer together, but stop just before they touch, leaving a few centimeters of space between them. Focus all your attention on the space between your palms. Just observe, without judgment. What do you feel? Most people report a distinct sensation. It might be a gentle warmth, like holding a cup of hot tea. It might be an electric tingling, like little sparks dancing between your fingers. Or it might feel like pressure, as if there's an invisible balloon or a dense mass of energy being compressed between your hands. No matter what the sensation is, acknowledge it. This field pulsing between your hands is the tangible, undeniable proof that you are an energy being. You are not just a physical body made of flesh and bone. You are a vibrating force field, a generator and transmitter of energy. What you're feeling is your own bioenergetic field, also known as your aura, made denser and more perceptible through the concentration and intention you just practiced. You are feeling the raw material of creation in your own hands. Now, connect this sensation with what we just did. The image you charged with your intention and emotion is not a fantasy lost in the ether. It now exists as a real possibility, a defined vibrational signature within this energy field that permeates everything, what physics calls the quantum field. By feeling this energy in your hands, you're physically connecting with the fundamental truth that everything you desire is already yours on an energetic level. The only thing now separating you from the physical manifestation of your desire is time and the persistence of your vibration. The universe doesn't operate with yes or no, but with resonance. It simply mirrors back to you the energy and belief you're consistently emitting. This technique is incredibly powerful on its own, but its effects are the result of applying unchanging universal laws, laws that were recorded and taught by one of the greatest wisdom masters in human history. What you just experienced firsthand, this conscious manipulation of energy, is not a modern invention. It is an ancient secret, a sacred science. And what I'm about to reveal now is the origin of this knowledge and how it connects directly to the teachings of a legendary figure who held the keys to the mysteries of the universe, proving that you are using a technology of consciousness that has crossed millennia. The most powerful knowledge of Thoth. What you just did, this process of visualization, energization, and affirmation, may seem like an act of modern magic, but its roots run deep and ancient. This technique is, at its core, the practical application of a universal knowledge that was masterfully articulated by one of the most enigmatic figures in history, Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom, magic, and writing. Known to the Greeks as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, Thoth was considered the scribe of the gods, the keeper of the mysteries of the universe, the one who understood the architecture of reality. According to legend, Thoth didn't just observe the universe, he understood its inner workings. He recorded this wisdom in sacred texts, the most famous being the legendary Emerald Tablets. In these writings, he didn't leave behind dogma or religious rules, but rather the keys to creation itself, the 7 Hermetic principles. These are not human laws, but unchanging cosmic laws that govern everything, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. What you just performed was not a random ritual. It was the synchronized and precise application of these universal laws. The first and most important principle, the master key to everything, says, "The all is mind, the universe is mental." This is the most profound revelation of all. It means that the reality you perceive as solid and external is not that at all. The material universe is, in essence, a projection of a living, infinite consciousness. And since you are an individualized spark of that consciousness, your own mind is a center of creation. When you built that detailed image, you weren't daydreaming. You were designing the blueprint of your reality in the only place where creation truly begins, the mind. Immediately, you applied the second principle, that of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. This principle reveals that your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. It can't be otherwise. The frustration, chaos, or lack you see out there are only reflections of the blocks and beliefs that exist within. By pressing your third eye and aligning your energy with a new vision, you stopped trying to fix the reflection in the mirror and started changing the image that projects it. You went straight to the cause, not the effect. Then you activated the principle of vibration, which states, "Nothing rests, Everything moves, everything vibrates. Every thought, every emotion has a unique vibrational frequency. A thought of fear vibrates at a low and contracted frequency. A thought of gratitude and joy vibrates at a high and expansive frequency. By repeating, "Isn't it wonderful?" and feeling the emotion of fulfillment, you deliberately raised your frequency to match the frequency of your already manifested desire. You stopped asking and started tuning in, like a radio finding the right station. This brings us to the climax of the technique, the application of the principle of cause and effect. This law is absolute. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. Most people live on the plane of effects, reacting to circumstances and feeling like victims of chance. They are the consequence. By performing this process, you move to the plane of causes. You became the primary cause. The clear mental imagery was the cause, the directed energy was the driving force, and the emotion you felt was the seal ensuring that the corresponding effect will inevitably be drawn into your life. You also used the principle of rhythm, which says, everything flows out and in, everything has its tides. Life has its ups and downs. However, Hermetic law teaches that a master learns to neutralize the negative effects of the pendulum's swing, not by stopping it, but by rising above it. By practicing this technique, especially during negative moments, you're not denying the rhythm. You're refusing to be pulled into the negative pole. You rise above, keeping your awareness in the state you've chosen, regardless of the external tide. And finally, you applied the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This doesn't refer to physical gender, but to creative energies. The masculine principle is the energy of will, direction, intention, the act of projecting your mental image. The feminine principle is the receptive, creative, gestational energy of the subconscious, the act of feeling and accepting the new reality as fact. You perfectly united these two energies to generate a new reality, just as the union of genders generates new life. So understand the magnitude of what you've done. You weren't just thinking positively, you were consciously operating the fundamental laws of creation. You acted as a true mental alchemist, applying the wisdom of Thoth in a practical and powerful way. You used your mind to create a mold, your energy to fill it, and your emotion to solidify it, setting in motion a chain of events that the universe, by its own law, must now match. This wisdom is not a philosophy meant to be studied or admired from afar. It's a life manual, a guide to becoming a conscious co-creator. The knowledge of Thoth reveals that the power was never outside, in the hands of gods or fate. The power has always been within, encoded in the laws of your own consciousness. And the most fascinating part is that modern science, with its instruments and rigorous methods, is now unknowingly proving that Thoth was right all along. While the wisdom of Thoth gives us the philosophical what and why, modern neuroscience gives us the biological how, explaining the physical mechanisms occurring in our brain during this practice. What was once considered a mystical ritual now finds fascinating support in scientific studies. The bridge between ancient spirituality and cutting-edge science is being built, and it shows that you have the ability to be the engineer of your own brain's architecture, literally rewriting your brain for success. A groundbreaking study conducted in 2015 at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, used functional magnetic resonance imaging to observe the brains of people practicing self-affirmation exercises, very similar to the visualization and fulfillment practice you just did. Researchers found that these practices activate the brain's reward center, specifically the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, in the same way that real success or receiving money would. Your brain starts associating your desire with pleasure and reward before it even manifests. This discovery is deepened by the work of Eric Kandel, a neuroscientist who won the Nobel Prize for his research on how memory is formed in the brain. Kandel proved that learning and experience physically change the structure of neurons. When you repeat a thought, emotion, or action, the connections between the involved neurons, the synapses, become stronger and more efficient. With enough repetition, the brain creates new neural pathways, solidifying the new pattern of thinking. In other words, each time you practice this 60-second technique, you're not just sending a wish out into the universe. You are physically rewriting your brain's hardware. You are weakening the old neural pathways of doubt, fear, and limitation, and building a new, strong neural network aligned with your new reality. One that expects success, feels worthy, and is tuned to abundance. You are changing your default state of being. The famous neuroscience maxim "neurons that fire together, wire together perfectly" sums up this process. By combining thought, the image, emotion, the feeling of wonderful, and physical sensation, the touch, you are causing a vast network of neurons to fire in sync, creating a powerful and coherent neurological signature. Daily repetition turns this signature into your new baseline, making the manifestation of your desire not only possible, but the natural neurological outcome. The ancient wisdom of Thoth and the discoveries of modern neuroscience are, in fact, saying the same thing in different languages. One speaks of vibrations and astral planes, the other of neural pathways and brain chemistry, but the conclusion is the same. You have the power to change your mind, and in doing so, you inevitably change your world. This knowledge doesn't belong to any single era or culture. It is a timeless legacy that continues to resurface to remind us of our innate power. The legacy of the thrice-born. The figure of Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus, should not be seen merely as a mythological entity from a distant past. He is an archetype, a symbol of eternal wisdom itself that is reborn across different times and cultures, adapting its language to be understood by each generation. The knowledge he represents is universal and timeless, a truth that never dies but is continuously rediscovered. The technique you've just learned is one of many keys that open the door to this vast legacy of wisdom. By practicing this act of conscious creation, you are connecting to an invisible yet powerful lineage. It is a lineage of initiates that stretches across all of human history. It includes Greek philosophers like Plato and Pythagoras, who studied in Egypt and brought Hermetic principles to the West. It continues through the alchemists of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, who sought not just to turn lead into gold, but to transform human consciousness itself, from ignorance to enlightenment. This legacy flows through the great thinkers of the New Thought movement in the 19th and 20th centuries, like Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, and Napoleon Hill, who translated these ancient principles into practical, accessible language for modern men and women. And today, it is being validated and explored by scientists, quantum physicists, and neuroscientists who, through their own investigations, are arriving at conclusions that perfectly mirror this ancient wisdom. You are joining this current of knowledge. This knowledge is your birthright. It's not something you need to acquire from the outside, but something you need to awaken from within. The pineal gland, your third eye, is the biological organ of this inheritance. The technique you learned is the method for polishing this inner jewel, for removing the layers of calcification and doubt, allowing your light to shine. It's an invitation to transcend the limitations you've been conditioned to believe you have, and to access a state of consciousness where you are the cause, not the effect. The key that opens the door to this legacy is literally in your hands and in your mind. You now understand the map, visualization, the ignition, the Yintang point, the fuel, energy, and the password, the affirmation. You have the physical proof, the energy between your hands, the philosophical foundation, Thoth's teachings, and the scientific validation, neuroscience. The full knowledge has been presented. But the true power, the real transformation, doesn't lie in simply knowing this. The power lies in consistent and deliberate application. The key in your hand is useless if it stays in your pocket. It must be inserted into the lock and turned, not just once, but every day until the door to your new reality opens completely. The final step is not about learning more, but about doing, about integrating this sacred and scientific ritual into your daily life and becoming the master of your own destiny. Now you hold the knowledge and the technique. The map, the key, and the instruction manual are in your hands. The final and most crucial step of all is application. Real magic happens in consistency. Incorporate this simple 60-second ritual into your daily routine. Make it as natural a habit as brushing your teeth. The best time to practice is right after waking up. To set your intention and energetic frequency for the day, or right before sleep, to program your subconscious to work on your desire through the night. Commit to yourself to practice this ritual without fail for a period of 21 to 30 days. This is not an arbitrary number. Modern neuroscience has shown that this is the average amount of time needed for new neural pathways to strengthen and solidify in your brain, transforming a conscious action into a subconscious habit. In the beginning, it may take discipline. Later, it becomes automatic. You will be reprogramming your brain for success at a foundational level. Remember that you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or random chance. You are claiming your rightful position as the architect of your reality, the sculptor of your destiny. Every time you touch the Yintang point, every time you visualize your scene clearly, and every time you feel the wonder of your realization, you are sending a clear and coherent command to the universe. You are activating the forces of creation to conspire in your favor. Use this technique not only for big dreams, but also for daily challenges. If you feel a wave of negativity, anxiety, or doubt, stop for 1 minute. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and perform the ritual. It's an instant tool to reset your energy and realign your mind with your truth instead of your fear. You become the master of your inner state. And when you master your inner world, the outer world begins to conform. The power to create the life you desire has never been outside of you. It has always been within you, latent, waiting to be discovered and activated. This technique is simply the switch. It doesn't give you a power you didn't already have. It simply shows you how to access the infinite power that already resides in your consciousness. You are a creative being, endowed with the ability to turn thought into thing, imagination into reality. The fact that you've made it this far, to this very point in the video, is not a coincidence. It means that something within you resonated with this truth, that your consciousness is ready to awaken to your true power. You've received the knowledge and the technique, and now the journey of transformation truly begins. For me to know that you've absorbed this knowledge and are ready to apply it, leave a comment below with the phrase, "My third eye is open." This way, you not only declare your intention to yourself, but also inspire others who are on this same journey. If you feel that this content has added value to your life and you want to help the channel continue spreading this message, there's a way to contribute more directly. In the first pinned comment, you'll find a link to support our work. Any help of any amount is immensely appreciated by me and for the growth of the channel, allowing more videos like this one to be created. But understand this, just the fact that you watched until the end and that you are here right now is already a huge help. And if you feel that someone you know needs to hear this, share this video. Sometimes a simple share can be the key that someone else was waiting for. Your journey doesn't end here. I've selected a special video for you to take the next step, content that will take everything we've discussed even deeper and give you practical tools to solidify this transformation. Click on the video that's appearing on the screen now. I'll see you there.